Hello, legends. Back again with your daily book fix on your YouTube channel. We crack open one amazing book every single day, so you can seal the best ideas, skip the 300 boring pages, and actually become more and more successful. Grab your coffee. Today's book is about to blow your mind.
It really is.
Welcome to today's deep dive. Our mission today is to completely rethink how we view wealth in America.
Because we usually get it entirely wrong.
We really do. We are digging into the incredible research behind the Millionaire Next Door by Dr. Thomas J. Stanley and Dr. William D. Danko.
Which is such a foundational text.
Exactly. We want to find out who actually holds the wealth in this country and how you can apply their strategies to your own life.
And it is a phenomenal text to explore because it replaces assumptions with hard data.
Right.
To give you some context on what we are looking at here, the researchers spent 20 years rigorously surveying millionaires.
20 years.
Yeah, 2 full decades. They dug into IRS data, they conducted these extensive focus groups.
And they analyzed the actual spending habits of the affluent.
Exactly. And what they found completely flips the script on the Hollywood and media narratives we are fed every single day.
Because we are conditioned to visualize wealth as high-end consumption.
Right, absolutely. Mansions, luxury cars, designer clothes.
But the data reveals that wealth is not what you spend.
No, it's not.
Wealth is what you accumulate.
And that is a huge paradigm shift.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Uh-huh.
Because early on in their research, they had a massive realization.
A huge one, yeah.
They originally started surveying people in these beautiful, upscale neighborhoods.
Fully expecting to find all the millionaires right there.
Right. But they realized that half of America's millionaires don't even live in upscale neighborhoods.
They live right next door.
In middle class, sometimes even working class communities.
And that geographic surprise brings us to a critical distinction you have to make if you want to understand wealth.
The difference between income and net worth.
Yes. It sounds basic, but it is the exact trap most high-income earners fall into.
Because people making massive salaries are often just living paycheck to paycheck.
They are living high, they look rich, but they aren't actually getting wealthier.
Right. True wealth accumulators operate on a totally different frequency.
The research categorizes people into 2 main groups to help explain this.
First, you have the PAWs.
The prodigious accumulators of wealth.
These are the builders. They are in the top quartile for wealth accumulation for their age and income.
On the flip side, you have the UAWs.
The under-accumulators of wealth.
Those are the folks in the bottom quartile.
The best part of this analysis is that it actually gives you a wealth equation so you can figure out exactly where you stand right now.
Which is incredibly useful.
But let's take this slow, because doing math in your head while listening can be tough.
Yeah, let's make this concrete for you. It's a very straightforward formula to determine your expected net worth based on your current age and income.
Walk us through it.
Here is how you do it. Take your current age,
Say 40.
right, 40, and multiply it by your pre-tax annual household income from all sources.
Tax?
Pre-tax, yes. Except inheritances, we exclude those.
No windfalls allowed in the math.
Exactly. Then simply divide that resulting number by 10.
Right.
The final figure is what your net worth should be right now.
So if you are 40 years old
Yeah.
and your household brings in $100,000 a year before taxes,
You multiply 40 by 100,000.
which is $4 million,
Divide that by 10.
and you get $400,000. That is your baseline.
Precisely. That 400,000 is your expected net worth.
Got it.
Now, if your actual net worth is twice that expected number,
So 800,000 or more.
you are a paw. You are playing the game incredibly well.
But if your actual net worth is half or less of that expected number,
200,000 or lower in this example.
you are a UAW.
Exactly. You are under accumulating.
Let's look at the real-world example from the text comparing 2 50-year-old men to really cement this.
This is a great comparison.
First, you have Bubba Richards. He's a mobile home dealer.
Right.
His household income is about $90,000 a year.
According to that formula we just did, his expected net worth should be around $450,000.
But Bubba's actual net worth is $1.1 million.
He is a textbook paw.
Then you have James H. Ford II. He's an attorney.
A high-status profession.
Yeah, and he makes slightly more than Bubba, about $92,000 a year.
His expected net worth is around $470,000.
But his actual net worth, only $226,000.
He is a massive UAW.
Bubba has nearly 5 times the net worth of James, despite earning less money.
What's fascinating here is how cultural background and expectations play a role in those numbers.
Especially when you look at the data on ancestry.
Right, because you would intuitively assume the English ancestry group being among the first to arrive and establish economic roots in America.
You'd think they would have the highest concentration of millionaires.
But they actually rank fourth.
Wow.
Surprisingly, the Scottish ancestry group has a massive concentration of millionaires.
More than double the proportion you'd expect based on their population size. And it isn't because they're out-earning everyone else, right?
Not at all. Scottish ancestry households account for less than 2% of all high-income households in the data.
Less than 2%.
Yeah. The reason they have such a massive concentration of wealth is a culturally ingrained frugality.
They just save more.
They simply save and invest at a much higher rate than other groups.
They don't feel the need to broadcast their success.
Through conspicuous consumption, no.
Which brings us to the 3 words that perfectly profile the affluent, according to this research.
Oh, these are crucial.
Frugal, frugal, frugal.
Absolutely.
And we aren't talking about washing and reusing paper towels here.
Oh, no.
We're talking about how they handle major financial decisions and depreciating assets.
Yes, it's about playing massive financial defense.
The data collected on the specific artifacts millionaires buy is truly eye-opening.
Because it shatters the illusion we see on television.
Think about what you expect a millionaire to wear. A bespoke Italian suit, right?
Of course.
But the typical American millionaire in this study has never spent more than $399 on a suit of clothing.
Over half of them have never paid more than that in their entire lives.
And when it comes to watches, they aren't walking around with $5,000 Rolexes.
The #1 watch brand among millionaires is Seiko.
Followed closely by Timex.
And shoes. Only a tiny fraction, about 1%, ever paid more than $667 for a pair of shoes.
Most have never paid more than $140.
If you walked past them on the street, they would look completely ordinary.
And this frugality powerfully extends to how they purchase cars.
Which is arguably one of the biggest wealth killers for the middle and upper middle class.
The group with the highest ratio of net worth to income belongs to what the researchers call the used vehicle-prone shopper.
For every $1 of income they realize, they have over $17 of net worth.
How do they do it?
They buy by the pound.
They prefer full-size Detroit metal.
Think 3-year-old Fords, Buicks, or Oldsmobiles.
They let the original owner take that massive, steep depreciation hit that happens the second a new car drives off the lot. But let me push back on that for a second.
Sure.
If you have a couple $1 million in the bank, why not lease a nice luxury car?
It's a common question.
Isn't the whole point of making that much money to enjoy the ride? Why drive a 3-year-old Buick?
That is exactly the mindset of the UAW.
Interesting.
The UAW leases the foreign luxury import because they believe that looking wealthy is the same as being wealthy.
But it's not.
Leasing is a treadmill of continuous payments for an asset you don't even own.
The self-made millionaire recognizes that a car is a depreciating utility, not a status symbol.
They drive the used Buick because keeping their overhead low is what gave them the millions in the bank in the first place.
And it's what guarantees they get to keep it.
Exactly. Only a tiny minority of actual millionaires ever lease their motor vehicles.
That artificial scarcity is fascinating, especially when you look at how someone like Mrs. Rule operates.
Her story is incredible.
She's an auctioneer, making about $90,000 a year with her husband.
But they have a net worth of over $2 million.
Because she's an auctioneer, she has seen firsthand what happens when people live beyond their means.
When they go bankrupt and have all their luxury possessions sold off for pennies on the dollar.
So she plays incredible defense. She tracks every dollar, clips coupons, and controls her consumption completely.
She creates an environment of artificial scarcity.
Which is so smart.
And this is a moment to really reflect on your own financial habits.
Yeah, as you listen to this.
Do you allow your growing income to automatically inflate your budget?
Lifestyle creep.
Exactly. Or do you, like Mrs. Rule and the majority of millionaires, budget to ensure that you always feel a little bit broke?
Many millionaires achieve this simply by paying themselves first.
They invest a minimum of 15% of their income right off the top,
creating that scarcity before they ever paid for food, shelter, or a car payment.
Because if you don't control your spending, you can never accumulate wealth no matter how high your salary goes.
Which perfectly sets up the ultimate case study from the research, Dr. North versus Dr. South.
This is such a revealing comparison.
I want you to picture 2 doctors, both earning incredible incomes.
Well over $700,000 a year.
They're in the top fraction of a percent of earners in the country.
But Dr. North has a net worth of $7.5 million.
While Dr. South has a net worth of only $400,000.
It is a staggering gap.
It really is.
And the researchers analyze exactly why this happens by looking at how these two men allocate their most finite resources.
Their time, their energy, and their money.
PAWs like Dr. North spend nearly twice as many hours a month planning their financial investments compared to UAWs.
They study the market. They evaluate financial advisors.
They treat their personal wealth like a serious business.
But UAWs, like Dr. South, spend their time very differently.
Much differently.
Dr. South spent 60 hours shopping for a $65,000 Porsche.
60 hours.
He negotiated with multiple dealers to get what he thought was a good deal on a rapidly depreciating asset.
But he spends barely any time planning his actual investments.
And look at the psychological toll of that time allocation.
When surveyed, Dr. South's biggest fears were losing his high consumption standard of living.
And not having an income high enough to satisfy his family's massive purchasing habits.
He is highly paid, but he's incredibly anxious.
Dr. North didn't have those worries because his lifestyle costs a fraction of what he earned.
He has true financial independence.
But again, someone might look at Dr. South and say, he makes $700,000.
Right.
A $65,000 Porsche is less than 10% of his income. He should easily be able to afford that.
That assumes he keeps all $700,000.
Yeah.
And that leads to the massive underlying mechanism that separates the Norths from the Souths.
Taxes.
Income tax is the single largest annual expenditure for most households.
But importantly, it is a tax on income, not on wealth.
The rule of the wealthy is to minimize your realized income and maximize your unrealized income.
Let's make sure we clarify that, because the tax secret is a huge aha moment.
Yes, let's break it down.
Realized income is the actual taxable money flowing into your bank account, your paycheck.
Unrealized income is your wealth growing in the background without triggering a tax event.
Like the value of your business or your real estate going up.
Exactly. Dr. North only lives on 6.7% of his total wealth.
His actual realized income.
The money he pulls out to live on
Is a tiny fraction of his net worth.
Therefore, his tax burden is minuscule relative to his wealth.
If the government raises income taxes, he barely feels it because his wealth is quietly compounding, untaxed, in appreciating assets.
While the average American realizes nearly 90% of their net worth in income each year,
Every dollar they have is being heavily taxed.
UAWs like Dr. South are forced to realize massive amounts of income just to fund their lavish lifestyle.
The country club dues, the luxury cars, the massive mortgage.
Because they have to generate so much cash every month just to stay afloat, they pay astronomical amounts to the IRS.
They are essentially running on a treadmill just to pay their taxes and their car dealers.
Exactly.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. How do these vastly different habits affect the next generation?
This part is crucial.
Because if you are a PAW, you eventually build up all this wealth, the instinct is to help your kids.
The researchers call this economic outpatient care, or EOC.
And EOC sounds incredibly helpful on the surface.
It's parents giving their adult children cash gifts, helping with a down payment on a house in a nice neighborhood.
Or maybe funding a private school education for the grandkids.
But counterintuitively, the data shows this actually destroys their children's ability to build independent wealth.
Think about your own family dynamics for a second.
Yeah.
If you have kids, or if you plan to, your immediate instinct is probably to help them with a down payment on a house so they don't have to struggle the way you did.
It feels like the definition of good parenting.
But the results are shocking.
The statistics are clear and somewhat tragic. Adult children who receive these continuous cash gifts earn about 91% of the income of non-receivers.
Which is comparable.
But they possess only 81% of the wealth.
Wow.
Giving adult children money fosters dependency and hyperconsumption.
The receivers start to view their parents' capital as their own supplementary income.
It becomes addictive.
It's a psychological trap. If a parent gifts a child $10,000, the child doesn't put it in an index fund.
No, they use that $10,000 to justify taking on a massive monthly payment for a luxury car they can't actually afford.
Or if parents buy a child a house in an upscale neighborhood.
That child is now heavily pressured to buy the luxury car, the expensive furniture, and the country club membership just to fit in with their new wealthy neighbors.
The book gives a brilliant comparison of two brothers to illustrate this.
Henry and Josh.
Henry is a teacher making $71,000 a year.
He gets absolutely no subsidies from his parents.
But he's a PAW with a net worth of $834,000.
He lives below his means and budgets carefully because he has no safety net.
Then you have his brother, Josh.
Hmm?
Josh is a lawyer making $123,000 a year.
But Josh gets a $10,000 annual cash gift from his parents.
Because of that subsidy, Josh feels wealthier than he actually is.
He inflates his consumption to match an upscale lawyer lifestyle.
Despite making significantly more money than his brother, Josh's net worth is only $553,000.
That $10,000 gift actually weakens Josh.
It robs him of the necessity to budget and save.
Completely.
So based on this data, how are you supposed to raise kids who don't become UAWs?
The researchers synthesized several clear rules for raising affluent, self-sufficient children.
First, never tell your children you are wealthy until they are fully established in their own professions.
Second, no matter how wealthy you are, teach your children discipline and frugality through your own actions.
And third, emphasize achievements over consumption.
You want to praise them for hard work, integrity, and self-reliance.
Not for the brand of clothes they wear or the neighborhood they live in.
Exactly.
So if we step back and look at who these self-made millionaires actually are, the data is super surprising.
Over 80% of millionaires are first generation.
They didn't inherit their money.
And the vast majority of them are self-employed business owners.
But they aren't the glamorous tech billionaires you read about online.
No, they own what the researchers call dull normal businesses.
Dull normal businesses. We are talking about welding contractors, paving companies.
Mobile home park owners, pest control, and dry cleaners.
Why do these specific types of businesses produce so many millionaires?
Because they don't attract a lot of glamour or highly credentialed competition.
An MBA graduate from an Ivy League school usually wants to work on Wall Street or in Silicon Valley.
They rarely want to start a local pest control company.
This leaves these dull normal industries wide open.
They offer steady, localized demand, and if run efficiently by a frugal owner who watches the bottom line, they offer the potential for significant untaxed capital appreciation. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, there is a profound irony at the heart of the Millionaire Next Door.
The irony of the entrepreneur.
Yes.
This part is actually pretty heartbreaking when you really think about it.
It is a generational tragedy in a way.
The dull normal business owner lives a highly frugal life.
They take immense risks, they work incredibly long hours in unglamorous conditions to build their wealth.
But naturally, they don't want their kids to struggle the way they did.
They want to give them a better life.
So they use the wealth generated by the paving company or the dry cleaner to send their kids to elite colleges, medical schools, or law schools.
So they can become high-status professionals.
And the kids do exactly that. They become the doctors and the lawyers.
Exactly. But those high-status roles come with immense societal pressure to consume heavily.
Society expects the successful lawyer to buy the luxury car, wear the expensive suit, and live in the upscale neighborhood.
As a result, the children of the frugal entrepreneur often become massive UAWs.
They earn high incomes, but they accumulate very little wealth because their lifestyle demands so much cash.
Ultimately, they often end up needing their parents' financial help.
That economic outpatient care we discussed.
Just to stay afloat, the parents' frugal success essentially breeds the children's financial dependency and hyperconsumption.
So what does this all mean for you?
If you are listening to this and you aren't a dull, normal entrepreneur running a welding business, are you out of luck?
Can you still become the millionaire next door?
Absolutely.
The research makes it very clear that you can still build massive wealth.
One major way is to target the affluent as a market.
The affluent need services. They need accountants, tax advisors, estate planners, and specialized legal services.
Supplying the affluent is a fantastic business model.
And even if you don't run a business at all, if you just work a standard W-2 job.
You can absolutely become wealthy by adopting the frugal defense of the used car buyer.
The math applies to everyone.
Live well below your means, track your spending meticulously to create artificial scarcity.
And invest the surplus into appreciating assets rather than depreciating status symbols.
It is the ultimate takeaway.
Wealth is largely blind to your education level and your social status.
It doesn't care if you have an advanced medical degree or if you dropped out of high school to start a paving company.
Accumulating wealth requires intense discipline.
It requires a willingness to sacrifice your current consumption for future financial independence.
And most importantly, it requires the courage to completely ignore what your neighbors think of your lifestyle.
It's about breaking free from the high consumption trap.
It is entirely acceptable to drive a 3-year-old Ford and wear a Timex watch.
If it means you have incredible peace of mind and millions compounding in the bank.
Exactly.
And this raises an important question I want to leave you to mull over, drawing directly from what these self-made millionaires reported in the focus groups.
Let's hear it.
The researchers found that for the 80 to 85% of millionaires who are self-made, the actual journey to wealth was far more satisfying than the destination itself.
They looked back with immense pride on the struggle, the late nights, the goal setting, and the intense discipline it took to build their net worth.
So here's the thought to explore. If the true joy and deep pride of wealth come entirely from the discipline and the struggle of building it yourself,
Does winning the lottery, inheriting a fortune, or faking it with least luxury goods actually rob you of the exact happiness you think money's going to buy? Wow, that is a heavy question to sit with. Are we chasing the wrong kind of wealth entirely by trying to skip the struggle?
something to really think about.
Thank you all so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning the world around you, keep looking past the surface, and we will see you next time.